Hello, hello, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our daily get together live here on Facebook every day of the week, Monday through Sunday, 10:30 in the morning, where we get together and we take a look at the latest headlines, comments, topics, suggestions, ideas, and all kinds of information that can help us enjoy a more fulfilling life here in Puerto Vallarta and to learn more about Mexico, our culture, our way of life, and so forth and so on as a community of English speaking locals. It is always a pleasure to get together with all of you. And today is an awesome day because I have all kinds of really wonderful news. From good news about vaccines and clarity about their deployment to I'm going to go overboard. We're going to go overboard today with, right, Luna? With a new restaurant that we discovered yesterday here in Versalles that is just absolutely fantastic. And what else do we have? Well, we have this, that, and the other. But it is Friday. It is a pleasure to be here with you today, as in every Friday.
Thank God it's
Enough of that. Let's see who's in the house. As you know, we always welcome our dear friends that are regulars in the show. If this is your first time, my name is Paco. And you are welcome to let us know that you're new. Just write the word new in your comment, and we will be so very thrilled to welcome you aboard. And if you have important comments that you wish to share during the broadcast, if you add a letter Q at the beginning of your comment, it helps us single it out from all the conversation that goes on. It helps us address your comments. And of course, as you know, my trusty assistant, Luna, who is very busy right now taking notes, is in charge of taking care of our show notes, which are released right after each broadcast so that you can go and explore the links that we talk about at your own leisure. Let's see who is here. All kinds of wonderful friends. Lisa is in the house in Cinco de Diciembre. That is awesome. Conchas Chinas is in the house. Kathleen, it's great to see you. Rod is in Canada. It's great to see you as well. Oakland's in the house by way of Kathy Souza. Thank you for joining us this morning. Oh, how wonderful. This is heaven until my phone dies. That is very funny, Sherry. I am so glad that you're watching the waves and drinking coffee and joining us today. We'll keep it short and sweet so that your phone doesn't die. We would certainly not want you to run out of battery as you're exploring this city. Let's see. Oh, fantastic, John. Finally noticed that I will be getting vaccinated for COVID-19. This is very good news. I hope it goes well. Let's see, what else do we have? San Mateo is in the house by way of our dear friend Christy. Logan says, Calle Pulpito misses you. Oh, that is so funny. I'm sure that was not intended for me, but I like to be missed anyways. Let's see. Beam, 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 beam. Good morning, Paco, says Carla. Well, there's only so much we can do about what's going on there, but what we can do is to help you, be inspired by what we have here. And if you are watching from Puerto Vallarta, Carla, it's time to go out and enjoy the city safely, of course. And if you're watching from afar, please know that many of us are sitting here thinking, wow, I would love to go somewhere else right now. So if Puerto Vallarta has been in your bucket list, let us highlight it a little bit more for you this morning. Matthew is correct. Luna seems to have lost interest on her cardboard box, and she's back to where she knows she's going to get all the love she deserves. Right, baby? She's sitting here with me. And Judy says 9 more sleeps for us, and we'll be there. That is awesome. I hope your travels are totally, totally safe and wonderful. Boom, biddy, boom, bum, 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 bum. Oh, wonderful. Raymond went and had lunch at Birreria Tío Toño. We talked about this birreria in our recent. I keep looking at the other camera when I realize the other camera is not on, so I'm going to look at you now. We talked about Birreria Tío Toño the other day, and as part of our Versalles walks, and I'm so very glad that you enjoyed it, Raymond. I love going there, and I'm almost ready to go back. Boom, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Rita, I'm happy to report that my eye is on the mend, thanks to an unexpected savior who tenderly and lovingly tended to my eye, and in doing so was gifted me with more love and concern and intimacy than I have experienced in a long time. So, anonymous friend, you make my world a much better place. There you go. That felt good. That felt good. Let's see. Luna is a picture of Cat Busy. I try to be like Luna every single day. I swear to God. Um, did I see a new? Maybe I'm wishing to see news. I didn't see a new, or maybe I saw a new. I'm not entirely sure. But let us get started with our news today, because again, we have all kinds of things to share with you. And we start with the fact that Hugo López-Gatell, who is our an undersecretary of health here in Mexico, traveled to Argentina. He traveled to Buenos Aires to meet with scientists from Russia to better understand the logistics and the operation of the Sputnik vaccine, which is a vaccine that has been developed by Russia to combat coronavirus. We don't know at this time if it is going to be acquired by the Mexican government or not, but it is good to know that Mexico is considering as many options as possible for us to be able to combat coronavirus in our country. Along those lines, we learn finally that deployment of the vaccine is starting to be broadened. And what this means is that the Federal Secretary of State has indicated that they are going to distribute 1.3 million dosages or doses, I'm not sure, but these are going to be distributed among our 32 states, which will be designated for health professionals. So the pacing of these deliveries, somebody asked me about when we're going to see vaccines for doctors here in Puerto Vallarta. What it says here is the schedule is conditioned with the arrival, is conditioned on the arrival of the actual shipments of the vaccines developed by Pfizer and BioNTech. And it is anticipated that between 12 and 18 of January, 439,725 dosages will be distributed. Then between 19th and 25th of January, an additional 436,000. And then between 26th of January and February 1st, another 436,800 vaccines. That is a lot of vaccines. How wonderful to see that these are finally being distributed. Thank you very much for that, Christy. It is such a pleasure to learn new words and new usage of words from you on every single broadcast. Thank you so much for that. Who should get the vaccine first and who shouldn't? Well, we know that the priority is being given to members of the medical sector, but in this very interesting headline, the Secretary of Health asks that the government considers giving priority to those in jail. Why? Because our jails are saturated, and the Secretary of Health is saying, well, this is a great priority because it is in jails where people are confined that we can see dangerous possibilities of the virus spreading. So what a complicated issue this is, right? Because we're thinking on the one hand, we have the medical professionals that are helping us out with what's going on. And then on the other hand, we have people that, may not be worthy of this, but it is an important thing. How complicated to make these decisions. I really respect and appreciate what our government officials and our health professionals are going through in making sound decisions for all. Moving right along, I also want to let you know that we mentioned yesterday or the day before that the The health and economic professionals that advise the governor of our state are getting together on Monday to determine what is going to happen after the current shutdown is over. We know that the current shutdown will be over on Sunday. Sunday the 10th is the date in which, well, I forget if it's Sunday the 10th or the 11th at midnight, but we can look it up. That is the date in which bars are able to reopen here in Puerto Vallarta, and some restrictions in the city of Guadalajara go back to normal. But we don't know exactly what's going to happen afterwards. So restaurant owners have gone ahead and have said, please understand, they're asking for understanding against the possibility of another botonazo, which is an expression that has become quite popular in our state, and it refers to the button that gets pushed by the governor whenever there is any kind of confinement. So, according to CANARAC, which is a restaurant union, there are 4,000 restaurants that have already closed their doors in Jalisco, and may or may not be able to open again. And if there is any further restriction of operation for restaurants, this would be very, very complicated and actually very, very tragic for these restaurant owners. So, of course, it's back to what we were saying. I know that it's very easy to have opinions, strong opinions on, well, they should do this and they should do that, et cetera, et cetera. But I can't believe how complicated it must be for our governors and our authorities to make decisions for the better of the whole and not just the few. I would love to see your comments. In fact, let me take a quick pause before I give you another couple of interesting news items to share. Let's see. Boom, ba pam, boom, bam, boom, bam, boom. Well, you may have missed yesterday, Silvana. I thought I would have an appointment, but my doctor, my new future husband and future ex-husband, got COVID. Dr. Rodrigo Gonzalez got COVID, so he had to cancel my appointment, which made me think if I had accepted the appointment that he had offered me the day before, I could be experiencing COVID symptoms tomorrow. How crazy is that? But my eyes are feeling much better. Thank you very, very much. Let's see. What an eye experience, intimacy. Well, Troy, let me elaborate on that, if I may. And this is not to draw attention to myself. There are many of you out there that are blessed with having intimate relationships with spouses, with family, and with friends. Those of us, Luna and I, we are both single, and we cuddle each other as much as we can. But I would be remiss not to acknowledge that as a single man, it doesn't matter how much you hug your friends when it's pertinent and possible. Having someone that you know and trust look after you with medical attention and detail is an unexpected gift. It was certainly an unexpected gift of intimacy that I will treasure for a long time. Let's see what else. Jose Luis Gonzalez Mejia tells us, I teach English and Spanish, Paco, so if you could please let them know I need more students, I would really appreciate it. Jose Luis, it is a pleasure to support you. If you have a Facebook page that we can look at, that we can promote, by all means, let me know. Because I know that there are a lot of people in our community that would love to learn Spanish better. So please give us more information about what you're doing. Either share it with me or feel free to put a comment or a link to your Facebook page here so that we can all learn more about what kind of courses and experiences you're offering. Joe says, I read a while ago that with the rush of vaccine and alcohol do not mix, not a joke. You can't drink booze a week or so before, a week or two after. Well, Joe, for starters, thank you very much for sharing that. Secondly, I hope that what you read comes from a reliable source. And lastly, I am sure that all these vaccines have pros and cons. And all I can contribute to your comment is that it is up to us to try to remain as informed as possible so that we can make sound decisions about the treatments that are best for us. Um, let's see, what else do we have? Divide those numbers by two since you need two doses. That is absolutely correct. Probably because it is made of mostly Smirnoff vodka. That is funny, Steve. But again, joke aside, you know, medication has affects our body, and we know that pretty much anything that we take as medication is bound to have some kind of what do they call them, adverse reactions. So let us partner in trying to be as best informed as we can about these treatments so that we can make the best decisions for ourselves. La la la. My sister asks, "Is my TV on behind you?" The answer is no. My television died a few months ago. It's just a big piece of plastic and glass that decorates. Those are the reflectors that I use to do the broadcast. That's why you're seeing them on the TV. And because I'm using a different camera today, I forgot to charge my usual camera, the battery. That's why you are seeing those spots on the television screen. I hope they're not very distracting. In fact, Luna, take a nap. Boom. There you go. James, thank you. Thank you very much for that. I know that there is historical differences between some English-speaking countries and Russia. I understand that part, but again, I want to trust that scientists have science as a priority and not politics. So we'll see what happens. We'll have to see what happens. Let's see, what else do we have? My sister, who I always adore seeing here, is sending love. Mwah, te quiero mucho, hermanita. So since your eye is better, you will not need to meet the doctor. Well, Ramona, I can always be a fan and chase the doctor around, but I think Dr. Rodrigo is quite busy right now trying to get better from COVID. And again, we don't have the pleasure of knowing Dr. Rodrigo Gonzalez. I know that he has cared for some of you, and we can only hope that his recovery will be fast. Let's see what else we have. Great comments today. Thank you so very much. Angelica asks, do they know if in Jalisco they're going to push the button soon? Again, we are expecting that the Mesa de Salud and the Mesa de Economía, the two groups that inform our governor, are going to meet on Monday. And so it wouldn't be surprising if we hear news one way or the other, either Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. Let's see what else we have. I think I've reached the end of your comments, but let me give you another bit of good news for Canadians. Starting today, and that would have been yesterday, Canadians are going to get a special prize for COVID-19 tests in Banderas Bay by way of Riviera Nayarit. The Riviera Nayarit Tourism Bureau is offering it says North American alternatives. It says alternatives for North American visitors. Of course, this is not specific as to whether it is for North Americans from the USA or from Canada. As we know, Mexico, Canada, and the United States are all part of North America. So we could get lost a little bit on the lingo here. But what is important here is that that there's going to be special prices available at some hospitals in Riviera Nayarit. The specifics have not been delivered, but we do know that you can probably get additional information at Hospital Joya, Hospital CMQ, and Hospital Punta Mita, which is where these special prices for the vaccine are going to be available. The director of the Convention Bureau said in order to receive the test, those that are interested in it must present their passport as official ID and have a plane ticket in hand, or an electronic version of it, to travel in a period no larger than 72 hours, so 3 days. And there you have it. Hopefully, we'll get more information about this, or hopefully, someone from our community will actually go and pursue this vaccine so that you can let us know how the entire process went. And that takes us to the end of our formal news. Let us switch over to the weather. And then I'm going to show you some beautiful images of this amazing traditional Mexican restaurant we discovered in Versalles yesterday. Let's take a look. Okay, it is 23 degrees Celsius in Puerto Vallarta. Feels like 25. Humidity is at 56%, so another glorious winter day. This will be 74 degrees Fahrenheit, and we are looking at a clear day today, Friday, with high temperature of 27, low temperature of 18. Tomorrow will be partly cloudy through the day, high temperature of 26, low temperature of 18. And Sunday will also be clear throughout the day, high temperature of 26 and a low temperature of 15. Let's see, a quick question that I'm looking at here. Vaccine or test in Nayarit. This is this is test. If I said vaccine, I made a mistake. This is a place where you can get the test so you can go back to Canada or travel to Canada and fulfill the requirements that Canada is now putting forward to anybody trying to enter the country. I get scattered sometimes, so I may have said vaccine by mistake. That was not an intentional snafu. Interesting bit of news that I discovered this morning. Today would have been Elvis Presley's 86th birthday. And I discovered a certain, I think the word is kerfuffle, that went on between Elvis Presley and Mexicans way back when apparently it was alleged by a radio reporter that back in 1957, this was by a newspaper writer who wrote about show business. In 1957, Federico de Leon, a journalist, wrote that Elvis told him in an interview, "I'd rather kiss 3 black women than a Mexican woman." According to this man, Elvis, the king, said this. But then, this, of course, angered all the Mexican community, and people started boycotting his albums and so forth and so on. But sometime later, the radio station, was it a radio station? Yes, this was a radio station. This journalist had a radio program, and the radio station, Radio Éxitos, the offense was so bad that they went back and took it back, but not before some journalists in Mexico called Elvis Presley a racist and a homosexual. But then the gossip, the chisme gets better, because apparently this happened. This happened because a high-ranking politician in Mexico had tried to get Elvis to perform for his daughter's wedding, quinceañera, I don't know. And Elvis decided, no, I'm not going to do that. So this politician's ego was so ruffled that apparently it was a Mexican politician who ended up inventing this statement. But that is how crazy the power of the press can get when it is abused. I love Raymond's comment, "So much for fun in Acapulco." And that is right. We shared a video clip from his movie Fun in Acapulco some time ago, in which Elvis, our Elvis, the king, muffles the song Guadalajara, Guadalajara in Spanish in the most hysterical way. And James says, "Kerfuffle is one of my favorite English words. Is there a Spanish equivalent?" Well, I can think of a very simple and vulgar one, which would be, a kerfuffle would be a pedote, which literally means a giant fart. But what it means is that somebody made a big deal out of nothing. And that is my closest comparative that I can think of right this very moment. But if there's something better, I will definitely contribute. Let me see if there is any other interesting questions or comments to share. If there are, not is, before we move on to this miniature. Uh, Oh, Matthew, you just made my day. Thank you very much for that. I thank you so very much for that. Let's not make a big pedote about what's going on with politics elsewhere, but you totally made my day with that remark. Thank you so very much. And speaking of thank you, check out this thing that just landed in my inbox.
Hi, I'm Paul Christ. I'm the owner of Hotel Mercurio here in Puerto Vallarta, where we feature the best drag brunch you will find anywhere. Poolside, open air, safe, and I'm a huge fan of coffee and headlines. And now back to you, Paco. Let's get on with the show.
And of course, I love it when my friends and partners and members of the community boss me around. So let's get on back to the show. Actually, what that was is a pilot experiment that we are introducing here at Coffee and Headlines. I have said many times, this is not my community. This is your community. And what we are starting to do now is inviting you, members of the community, to share with us your own video introducing the show, doing whatever you want, and ultimately what we're looking for, Luna and I, of course, when I say we, I'm always referring to my trusty assistant and I. What we're looking for is to create even more connections between you and the rest of the community. So if you are a local business owner that is a frequent viewer, that is also a sustaining member, please feel free to send us your own video clip. I have reached out to a couple of you to give you an advance invitation to let us know about what you're doing. Keep it short, and we'll get along just fine. And if you are simply a friend of Coffee and Headlines and you want to send us a video so that we can see your beautiful face, by all means, send it away. Send it away. And we will be putting together some specific guidelines on this. And you can send me a message if you're interested. And now, to wrap the show, again, I want to tell you about this amazing restaurant. Where are the images that I want to show you? They are right here. And what it is it is called Posolitlan. I discovered this restaurant walking down the street the other day. They had just opened a few months ago. And before I go on, Michael says, can't wait to see Kathleen Atkins' video. Always love them. Well, I'll have you know, Michael, it was them. It was Kathleen. It was a conversation with Kathleen that inspired this idea. And because I love their videos as well, I said to Kathleen, I have a dare for you. And I dared Kathleen and Todd to come up with a funny short intro video, and hopefully they will follow through. I look forward to seeing what they come up with myself. So back to Posolitlan. I was walking around Versalles a couple of weeks ago, and I said, this place looks awesome. I looked at the menu. I promised I would go back, and lo and behold, I was back yesterday with a group of lovely friends, and we decided to check out this place, and boy, did we have a good time. First of all, Posolitlan specializes in pozole, and of course, pozole is this wonderful hominy-based stew that we eat here in Mexico. It usually features either chicken or pork meat or pork combined. When we say pork meat, it's shredded meat, but then you can also, if you're very traditional, you can also order it with meat and some of the innards that sometimes people don't want to eat, but they're actually quite flavorful. Anyhow, this place is just beautiful outside and it's beautiful inside. We walked in and sat down, and first of all, you're offered all these, they put all these wonderful salsas and condiments on the table for you to choose to spice your pozole to your liking. And if you look at the container in the lower right hand corner, those are roasted grasshoppers. So that's one of the first things that I'm sure some people are going to go, ew, I don't know if I want to eat grasshoppers. But eating roasted grasshoppers is very traditional here in Mexico. I love this comment from Brian that says pozole is a favorite. Uh, Pozole verde is a favorite, but I love red and claro as well. Have I got a surprise for you in a couple of photographs? Just hang on tight. After they started setting up, they started offering drinks. What kind of drinks can you enjoy at this place? Well, they have all kinds of wonderful drinks that are based on both mezcal and also on pulque, which are very traditional beverages here in Mexico. You can order them unflavored, or in this case, I ordered a red berry mezcal, which was absolutely to die for. I then ordered an avocado-based drink. This is the second time in a month that I come across avocado-based drinks, so it was absolutely scrumptious. Then we started ordering some entrees. What you're looking at here is another dare of sorts. These are pickled pig's feet. And again, pickled pig's feet are not for everyone, but this is very traditional here in Mexico. You don't have to order them, but it is a great opportunity to experience some of these more obscure things that we enjoy eating. What I ordered, and this is what I was referring to earlier when I remarked on Brian's comment, is that you can order a sampler plate. This is a sampler plate that includes green pozole, red pozole, and white pozole, and you can choose whatever meat you want to taste on each one of them, so you can really get a sense as to what all the different types of pozoles are. And then what else? Oh, and then we had this order of gorditas, which are kind of like soft tostadas, which were absolutely delicious. And finally, but different people order different things, but these are some of the photos that I took. And then at the end, we ended up with some delicious mezcal that had been aged in their own barrel. And it was absolutely a wonderful restaurant. Needless to say, we are going to be adding this to our Versalles for Foodies map this afternoon because it truly is a worthwhile restaurant to explore. And it was not expensive. It was absolutely flavorful and wonderful. So again, shameless plug. I'm not getting paid. We're not getting paid to advertise or promote this. This is just part of what we try to do to create connections between our community and the wonderful eateries that we have here in Puerto Vallarta. Let me take a quick look at your comments before we wrap up today's broadcast. Let's see what we have. I love this, Kathleen. Just go crazy, have fun if you want to. All we're trying to do is to promote the wonderfulness of our community. And again, no monies are exchanged. We've always promised an advertiser-free environment. These are not ads. These are just invitations for people to introduce themselves. There is no charge. There's no money exchange, no nothing. Just getting to know folks in the community. This is true, James. Making a real, original, authentic pozole is not easy. What I loved about Posolitlan, I had a brief conversation with the owner. The owner is from the state of Puebla. He came to Puerto Vallarta, fell in love with a local girl. They married, and he also fell in love with his mother-in-law's cooking. So all the recipes are authentic recipes prepared with a lot of love. But you are absolutely correct. Making pozole, the real kind, is not a walk in the park. So it is wonderful to have good, trustworthy restaurants where we can enjoy it without having to create it on our own. Let's see what else we have. There needs to be more hominy in the world. You know, it is such a wonderful food. It is absolutely wonderful. Pozole's Dark History. Thank you very much, Eric. Eric, of course, from Vallarta Eats, is always trying to inform locals and visitors of wonderful Mexican food. So I'll look forward to reading this blog post from your website. And we've mentioned Eric Wichner before. We would love to welcome him again to share information about VallartaEats.com anytime. Vallarta Eats is the most wonderful local street food tour you could pursue here in Puerto Vallarta. Even if you're a local, you don't have to be a tourist. If you've ever been curious about some of the more local restaurants and eateries and so forth and so on, but felt you needed a holding hand to feel comfortable trying the food, I cannot think of a better endeavor than Vallarta Eats. Let's see what else. Ta-da-ta-ta-ta-ta. Joe says presentation is everything, and everything was yummy. That's all I can tell you. What else? What else? I suppose this has to do with the crickets, the chapulines. And you're right, they taste just like bacon mixed with guacamole. They're heavenly. Absolutely. Having a taco of guacamole with chapulines in it, it is absolutely delicious. And I'm getting hungry just talking about this. Thank you very much for all your wonderful comments. Darn, I hate that I keep missing the show. I'm going to have to find a new job. Well, I hope it doesn't come to that. Jesse, please remember that we upload every single episode to both Facebook and YouTube and the website so that you can access them whenever you want. Let's see what else. Thank you for showing that restaurant. Michael, thank you for commenting and help you. And thank you for giving us the opportunity to create a connection between you and Puerto Vallarta. Absolutely. Any chance? I noticed it was wheelchair friendly. There's only one step to get into the restaurant, Terry. And so it makes it very, very easy to navigate in and out. And it's right on the sidewalk. Oh, and one thing that I should also mention, right next to the restaurant, you can barely see it, but right next to the restaurant, that to the left, on that brownish facade, that is the facade for Au Croissant, which is another wonderful Versalles institution. It is a bakery, French-owned bakery. And we haven't added them to the map, but they're going to be added to the map shortly. I know them because they used to sell their bread at the Los Mangos market, and I think they might be selling bread elsewhere. But this is the source of it. It is absolutely wonderful. Posolitlan location. Thank you, Liz. You will find it on the map pretty shortly. But right now, I'm going to let you know that it is on Nisa 198, and of course I will share their Facebook page with the show notes today so that you can enjoy it. And what else? Yes, again, what is the name of the restaurant? It's Posolitlan. And again, it sounds like a commercial. It is not. I'm sorry, it was just heavenly and I had to share. Friends, and I enjoyed the street taco tour and tequila tour with Chef Calis. Now I love the street food of PB. Chef Calis is always with us, and he's always commenting. But Chef, we have not seen your Facebook page. Please share it with us so that we can help promote your activities. And I think we're at the end of our comments. And hold on just a second. Almost no more coughs. I think the rhinitis is gone. And I think I'm getting better with my eyes, so life is good. And I think this is a perfect time to wrap up our broadcast today. It's been a pleasure to get together with you as every other day that we get together. Tomorrow, we'll come back with our usual combination of news, important news and leisurely stuff. And of course, Sunday is Sunday Fun Day. We still don't know what we're going to come up with. But again, I promise it will be as memorable and as pleasant as possible. Between now and then, thank you. Thank you so much for being part of this community. Thank you for nurturing the community with your positive comments, your important questions, your informative remarks, and thank you for being in touch. Have an awesome day today and come back whenever you want. Hopefully tomorrow. Have a good one.